Hello and welcome back to Casual Gastronomy, where today we're going to be celebrating the St. Patrick's holiday. Now, you might be thinking that we're just going to make the traditional corned beef and cabbage like everybody else does, but you would be so wrong in thinking that. We would never do such a crazy thing because there are already probably billions of videos on how to do that. Instead, we decided to make our own unique special recipe for this day, and we are going to be burning some cabbage.
But not that kind of cabbage. We're gonna be making a charred cabbage with Romesco sauce and crispy potatoes.
Romesco sauce is a Spanish condiment that I had not really heard of until about a week ago, but it's really unique. It's made of tomatoes and sourdough bread, and it gets blended up together into this creamy, thick condiment. And I've never tried it before. We're going to be making it for the first time with you, our faithful viewers. We're going to be seeing if it is indeed delicious or not delicious. And I can't wait to share the experience with you.
But before we get started, please make sure to give this video a like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because if you don't, an angry leprechaun is going to come after you. So
that is actually true. So let's get started.
We're going to start by making our Romesco sauce. First, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, place 2 tomatoes and half a head of garlic onto a baking sheet, drizzle with olive oil, and season with salt and pepper. Pop that into the oven and roast until the tomatoes are wrinkled and the garlic is soft. This should take about an hour.
Next, we'll toast up a half cup of hazelnuts. For this, simply toss them with a bit of olive oil, lay them out flat on a tray, and toast them in a 350 degree oven for 5 to 10 minutes until they're golden brown like this.
Next, take the skin off your tomatoes, then add them into the food processor along with 3 roasted red peppers, 1 toasted slice of sourdough bread that has been broken up into pieces, the roasted garlic, half a cup of toasted hazelnuts, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of the oil from the jarred roasted red peppers, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Process until a rough, thick paste forms. Add more olive oil to adjust the texture as desired. Now we're going to bump our oven up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, into a pot of boiling water, add 1 teaspoon of salt and about 1 pound of fingerling potatoes. Then, add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. The baking soda draws the starch to the surface of the potatoes, which promotes browning and extra crispiness. Then, let the potatoes cook until they are fork tender. This should take about 20 minutes. After that, transfer the potatoes to a large bowl with a slotted spoon. Then drizzle on a couple tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, sprinkle on some more sea salt, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and about 1 teaspoon of freshly grated black pepper. Then place them onto a baking tray and smash them so that they're about a half an inch thick. Then place them into a 450 degree oven for about 15 minutes until they're golden brown and crispy.
Once you take your potatoes out, adjust your oven down to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, give your head of cabbage a good rinse and cut it in half. Then, cut each half into 3 equal wedges. Drizzle the wedges with a bit of olive oil and season them with salt and pepper. Next, heat a cast iron skillet over medium heat and add in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Once your skillet is hot, place your cabbage wedges in and let them cook for 3 to 5 minutes until lightly charred. We checked ours after 4 minutes and it was looking good, but we wanted it to be a little bit darker, so we cooked it for 1 more minute before flipping it and turning the pan 180 degrees and cooking it for 5 more minutes. After your cabbage is nicely charred, place it onto a baking tray and bake it for 6 to 8 minutes until it's tender and a knife slides easily in and out of it.
Finally, plate it up starting with a layer of our Romesco sauce, then a little drizzle of olive oil, then the charred cabbage, then some of our crispy potatoes around the edges, and we decided to top it with some crispy garlic slices.
Okie dokie, folks. Here we are. We have completed our charred cabbage with Romesco and crispy potatoes. And it's looking good and it's smelling good. And it was not too difficult to make.
No. And fun fact, this dish is completely vegan.
Yes, we forgot to
For
mention.
all you vegans out there.
This is actually, as far as I can remember, our first fully vegan meal.
I think so.
The only other vegan thing we made was the sweet potato hummus. I'm pretty sure that was vegan, but that's not a meal.
No, this is a meal.
Full-on meal. You could eat this and survive in the wild. But we don't want to just survive. We want to also enjoy deliciousness.
Of course.
So let's give it a taste and see if this is actually delicious or if those vegans are just crazy masochists. I've never had a vegetable before.
Alright, how do we do this? Cut the cabbage.
First step, cut the cabbage. I want the crispy part. That reminds me of like the fat on a steak that gets like a little extra charred and crispy.
Okay. Trying the cabbage.
I'm going all in on cabbage. Help me. Thank you. Maybe a little Romesco too. Romesco. That's fun to say. Romesco. Alright, let's try it. Cheers. That is crazy. What the heck? Wait, you're not done yet.
Potato.
You have to try the potato too. We will explain that experience, but first we need to examine these potatoes. Okay, that wasn't as like crispy as I thought it would be, but it's still very good. All right. We need to break down what just happened.
Play by play.
What did you think about that Romesco?
It's really good.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I don't really know. It's like somehow really familiar. The flavor.
Because the texture is like hummus.
Yeah.
Very similar. But then the flavors, there's like a little bit of tanginess and sweetness.
There's like a little burnt toast, and then there's like that hazelnut flavor. It's like such an interesting combination of flavors that I've never tried, but like I said, it feels so familiar.
Yeah.
And then that cabbage, guys.
So sweet.
I swear, like they really do cabbage dirty here. You know, in the US, like to little kids, they give them like the worst, like, I don't even remember really eating cabbage as a kid, but.
It's just like Brussels sprouts, like they just get a bad rap.
Yeah, but if you take that cabbage and you give it a little char, and then you really like let it cook until it's tender with that olive oil and the salt and the pepper, it gets sweet, like Lauren said.
It's really sweet.
It's like sweet and tender and juicy. It's so good. Like,
it is really good.
It's practically like not even a vegetable. It's basically a fish.
Little smokiness, you know, because it's charred too.
Yeah.
Adds that flavor.
And then that sweetness paired with the acidity and the richness of that Romesco. follow it up with those little crispy fingerlings, which also have a little natural sweetness and
Yep.
just that delicious carby, starchy goodness that we all love.
Yep.
That is the only word that comes to mind is fancy. This is a fancy meal.
Fancy, but it's not hard to make.
No, seriously. Like,
Really not hard at all.
you could really impress somebody very easily by making this.
Yeah.
That's the key. And I know I probably said this in an old episode. The key to these like 5-star Michelin restaurants. Wait, does Michelin's only 3 stars max?
3, I think.
Okay. These 3-star Michelin restaurants, it's not necessarily that they have like some special ingredients that you couldn't get anywhere else, although that is often true. The real secret is that they can take ordinary things that you've had before, like a carrot or a slice of cabbage or a piece of toast, and they can treat it with such care and respect, and they they bring out the what is the word that I'm looking for? The potential of that food. They bring it to its highest potential, and they elevate it to something that you couldn't even imagine that it could have been.
And we know this because we go to Michelin star restaurants every week.
All the time. All the time.
So, yeah.
It's really fun. You should do it. You know, casual for everybody. Thank you for watching. And last little interesting announcement. Our channel is now a verified creator on the Brave browser. So if you happen to be one of those people out there using the Brave browser and watching us, and you're getting rewarded in basic attention tokens, you can actually donate those to us so that you can support us independently of Patreon or YouTube monetization or, you know, promotion. We don't have any sponsors. We don't do Amazon affiliate links, so you can donate to us that way. There's our sales pitch for you. So we'll see you guys next week on the next episode of Casual Gastronomy. Peace.